Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Mr. English Podcast. I'm Emma. Talk about your daily routine. If you've ever taken an English test, a job interview, or even just met someone new, you've probably had to do this. And it's strange because it should be the easiest topic in the world. It's just your own day. You know it better than anything else. And yet,
Hey everyone, I'm James. And yet, it's almost never the vocabulary that trips people up. Everyone knows the word breakfast. Everyone knows bus, work, bed. It's the small things underneath. At 6, on the bus, in the evening, she wakes up. The tiny grammar that quietly breaks down exactly when you're trying to sound natural.
So today, James is just going to walk us through one ordinary day of his. No list of rules, no lesson announced up front. Just listen for how the small words move around the sentences.
Let's start at the most painful part of any day, the alarm.
Welcome. So glad you're here. This is Mr. English Podcast. Today's episode is calm and simple, on purpose. One ordinary day, told properly, with the grammar doing its quiet work underneath.
James, take us through it. Start from the beginning. Okay, my alarm goes off at 6:30. I wake up, not happily, but I wake up, and I usually lie there for about 2 minutes before I actually get up.
Notice that. At 6:30. For a clock time, we always use at. At 6, at 7:30, at midnight. That's the rule for the whole episode, so keep your ear on it.
I get up, I get dressed, and then I have breakfast at around 7. Usually just toast, sometimes eggs if I'm feeling ambitious, which is rare.
I get up, I get dressed, I have breakfast. All present simple, because this isn't something James did once, it's something that happens every day, again and again. That's exactly what present simple is for. Routines and habits, not single events.
After breakfast, I brush my teeth, I grab my bag, and I leave the house at 7:15. Pretty much every day, give or take a few minutes.
At 7:15, there's that at again, doing the same job every single time a clock time shows up.
From there, I walk to the bus stop, and I get on the bus at 25 past.
Get on the bus, not get in the bus. That's one of the most common little mix-ups in English. You get on a bus, a train, a plane, anything you can stand up and walk around inside. You get in a car, though, because a car is smaller and you're more enclosed.
Get on the bus, get on the train, but get in the car. I never really thought about why, but that's exactly the rule.
It is. On for the bigger vehicles, in for the smaller ones. Keep going.
The journey takes about 25 minutes, and I usually listen to a podcast or just stare out the window, depending on how tired I am. I get off the bus at 8:05, and I walk the last bit to the office.
Get off the bus. The matching pair to get on. On to start the journey, off to end it.
I arrive at work at around 8:15, which gives me 15 minutes before I actually need to be at my desk.
At around 8:15. Even when we say around, roughly, approximately, we still keep at in front of the time itself.
At around 8:15. Noted.
Tell us about the actual working part of the day. And listen for how often James describes how often something happens, not just that it happens.
Right. So I usually check my emails first thing. That's almost always the first thing I do at my desk. I always have a coffee at around 10, without fail. Genuinely cannot function without it.
Usually. Always. Those are adverbs of frequency, words that tell you how often something happens, not just that it happens. Always is the strongest, basically every single time, no exceptions. usually is slightly weaker, most of the time with occasional exceptions.
Continuing, I sometimes have a meeting in the afternoon, maybe 2 or 3 times a week, not every day. And I almost never work through lunch because I think that's a genuinely bad habit, even though plenty of people do it.
Sometimes. Almost never. Notice the whole scale we've built just from James's morning at work. Always. Basically every time. Usually. Most of the time. Sometimes. Occasionally. Almost never. Very rarely. Never. Not at all. 5 words, 5 different strengths.
And I think the position matters too, doesn't it?
It does. These words usually sit right before the main verb. I always have. I usually check. I sometimes have. But with the verb to be, they go straight after it instead. I am always tired on Mondays. Not I always am tired.
I am always tired on Mondays. That's definitely true, regardless of the grammar.
Friends, here's your first comment challenge. Using always, usually, sometimes, or never, tell us one true thing about your own working day or your studying day. We want to see the whole scale used in the comments.
And around midday, I usually grab lunch with a colleague or two. Nothing fancy, just a sandwich somewhere nearby, and then back to my desk by 1.
By 1, meaning before or at that time at the latest. Slightly different feeling from at 1, which is the exact moment. By 1 means the deadline is 1 o'clock, not the exact second.
Shifting into evening mode. I finish work at 5, and the evening's actually where my week has a bit of shape to it. On Mondays and Wednesdays, I go to the gym straight after work.
On Mondays. For specific days of the week, we use on. On Monday, on Tuesdays, on the weekend in British English. Though Americans usually say on the weekend too now. It's becoming pretty universal.
And on Fridays specifically, I usually meet friends for dinner somewhere, which is honestly the part of the week I look forward to most.
On Fridays again, same rule, specific day, on. Now, what about the parts of the day that aren't tied to one specific day?
In the evening, generally, I cook something simple, or if I've been to the gym, I'm usually too tired and just order something instead, which I'm not proud of, but it happens more than I'd like to admit.
In the evening, in the morning, in the afternoon. For the general parts of the day, not a specific day, just the period itself, we use in. So now we've actually got all 3. At for clock times, on for specific days, in for general periods of the day.
At 6:30, on Mondays, in the evening. All 3, all doing slightly different jobs.
Exactly that. Keep going. What happens after dinner?
After dinner, I usually watch something for an hour, sometimes read a bit, and then I start getting ready for bed around 10. And I go to bed at 11, most nights, give or take.
At 11. Last one. You've used it all day, completely naturally, without thinking about it once.
Funny how that works once you actually walk through it properly.
It really is one ordinary day, start to finish, and almost every sentence in it had one of these small words doing real work. Actually, to make a point about how steady James's routine is, I was telling someone earlier that she wake up early, every single day, like clockwork. Meaning Emma, obviously. Talking about myself in the third person for a second there.
She wake up?
She wake up early. Caught myself doing exactly the thing we should be warning everyone about. It's she wakes up. Third person singular needs the S. He wakes up, she gets dressed, it starts at 6. The S that disappears the moment you're not careful, even when you're the one teaching the rule.
He wakes up, she gets up, he arrives, she leaves. The S belongs on every single one of those when you're talking about one other person, he or she or it. Drop it for I, you, we, they. Keep it for he, she, it.
Always the easiest rule to know, and the easiest rule to forget the moment you're actually speaking quickly away.
Practice time. 2 parts. And the second part matters more than it looks.
Part 1. Describe your own routine. Out loud, right now. Just 3 or 4 sentences. I wake up at, I usually, on day I. Use at least 1 clock time with at, 1 day with on, and 1 frequency word like usually or always.
And part 2, and this is the one most people skip, but it's the one that actually tests the grammar properly. Describe someone else's routine. A friend, a family member, a colleague, out loud.
Why does that matter more?
Because when you describe your own day, you never have to use the S at all. I wake up, I get dressed, no S anywhere. The third person S only shows up when you talk about someone else. So describing your own routine can feel perfectly fluent, while the actual rule that trips people up never even gets tested.
So say it out loud. My sister wakes up at 7. She gets dressed quickly, and she usually has coffee before anything else. She leaves the house at 8:30. Every verb needs that S, because every sentence is about she.
Friends, second comment challenge. Describe someone else's routine, anyone you know well, in 3 sentences, in the comments, with the S on every verb. We'll be checking.
1 ordinary day. At for clock times. On for specific days. In for general parts of the day. The scale of frequency words from always down to never. And the third person S that even the person teaching it forgot for a second.
None of this needed new vocabulary at all. Every word in today's episode was probably already familiar to you. The whole episode was really about the small connective grammar, sitting quietly underneath words you already know.
So here's the one thing to actually do. Not a full system, not a 30-day plan. Tomorrow morning, before you even get out of bed, describe your own day out loud, from waking up to going to sleep, using today's 3 time words and at least 1 frequency word.
1 rep, 1 morning. That's the whole ask.
If today's episode helped you, please give it a like. It means a great deal to us. Share it with someone preparing for an English test or interview, because describe your daily routine comes up more than almost any other topic. Subscribe to Mr. English Podcast for a new episode every week. And tell us in the comments, your own routine or someone else's, with the S firmly in place.
At, on, in, and 1 small S. That's today's whole lesson, hiding inside 1 ordinary day. See you next time on Mr. English Podcast.